That was one of the hardest workout classes I've ever taken, which is saying a lot for me. Hello everyone and welcome back to our community. If you're new, I'm Jen. I focus on all things health, wellness, self-care, productivity while living in New York City. And we are getting back to my bread and butter today with workout class reviews. I tried the most challenging, the most athletic workout class with the strongest people in it, and we're gonna dive into it. So I tried AARMY. Okay, so first things first, what is AARMY? The founder, Akin, is very well known in the fitness industry. He has been around for as long as the New York fitness industry has started booming. He was huge at SoulCycle, and then he created his own studio called AARMY. So it's both a spin studio and a bootcamp strength training studio, but you'll really see the same people in both classes, which we'll dive into. It's a studio here in New York City in NoHo. It's all online and virtual as well, so you can really join from anywhere around the world, which is really awesome since it is live classes live from the New York City studio. You can really be a part of the New York City fitness community from anywhere. So AARMY is all about athletic training and practicing as a team to become the best athlete that you can, the best, strongest version of yourself that you can. Messaging is very intentional at this studio. So let's dive into the two types of classes that are offered. The first class is his spin class. So that is a 45-minute cycling class. It's similar to SoulCycle, which makes sense because he came from there. It's not like Peloton or Flywheel or any of these places where you're gonna have the heart monitor on or be competing or, have to reach a certain number of resistance. It's the same as SoulCycle in that there are no numbers involved. It's you against you. It's really more music-based, beat-driven, and inspiring rather than focusing on any numbers, which is my preferred way to spin. If I am gonna take a spin class, it's not really my thing, but if I'm going to, I prefer one where it's not really about the numbers or you're getting down on yourself or not being able to go as fast as anyone else. It's really just about how you feel and going to the music. So with all of that being said, there's also a lot of choreography involved in this class specifically. So you'll see everyone has one arm behind them and they're doing a one-handed spin situation. You'll be doing crunches on the bench, things like that, which can take time to adjust to. And then the other thing I would note is the music is very much if you've ever heard the playlist Beast Mode on Spotify, it's like that. So it's not gonna be pop, mainstream. It's gonna be really cool, motivating music. I like to compare it to, instead of jamming out to Taylor Swift, you'll be jamming out to Lose Yourself by Eminem. Then there's the boot camp class, which is a 50-minute class, and you'll see on the schedule that there are 3 different types. So there's upper body, lower body, and full body, and before you go in, right when you sign up, it says it on the schedule, what the focus is that day. So this is a HIIT strength training workout. So you're gonna get strength training and cardio in. The best way I can describe it and the environment that Akin has fostered is that this is practice. It feels like what I would imagine, I'm not a sporty person, but what I would imagine team practice feels like when you're on a team, in high school. They call it practice, they call whoever's instructing a coach, and it's a team mentality. So I'm gonna insert a clip here where Akin lets us know why they call it practice and what that philosophy is all about.
I call it practice and not class because athletes practice. You practice for a sport, you practice to build a skill, you practice mindset, you practice mindfulness, and so we practice, and then we practice to compete. We practice to live. We practice to be the victors. That's why it's called practice.
I actually asked Akin a few other questions as well. You'll hear more on his advice for your first time coming in and all that kind of stuff if you stick around until the end of the video. So they also have a stretching class, which is awesome. If you are going to the lower body class at 10 and then there's a stretch class at 11 for 30 minutes, it's really nice because you can just stay after and get a full deep stretch instead of just a 3-minute stretch. Again, it's kind of that practice mentality where it's not just the work, but it's also the recovery, which I love. So you can practice with both of those classes on the app as well for less than the price of one class for the month. That sounded confusing. I think you get what I mean. We'll talk about it in the pricing section, but wanted to note this here because their filming setup is crazy. In the bootcamp class, you could see in class, in person, everyone who's there on Zoom. You can really tell he makes an effort to make it a full community. And the filming setup is so crazy and so great. It's high quality. So you really feel like you're in the room with us when you're doing it virtually. You don't feel feel neglected. You really feel a part of it because a lot of them it's live in the studio as well. So that's really awesome. Next up, locations, really brief here. There's one location in NoHo, New York City on Broadway Street, and then there's the online studio. Because it feels very much like a family business, like there's 5 instructors or 5 coaches, and I believe they're all in the family in some way. So I feel like because it's very community driven, it's very family driven, it's not the type of thing that you're gonna see franchising all over the place, which I love because you know it's very intentional, and whichever coach you go to knows what they're talking about. So let's get into the amenities very quickly in the New York City studio. There are no showers, but it's a huge location, huge warehouse type of vibe. It's very cool. Like you kind of want to lounge and hang out there. There's the one studio for spin and the one studio for boot camp. There are changing rooms, which is nice. There's, deodorant, all of that kind of things to freshen up, although there aren't showers. There's bathrooms, single stall, very important. There's lockers as well. I'm trying to remember, I feel like you couldn't lock it. You'd actually have to bring your own lock for this one. And then you can also rent spin shoes there and also buy water. There's merchandise, all of the things. So you don't have to bring your own spin shoes. The best part of New York City Fitness, the pricing. So we'll start digitally. That is, you could actually do a 14-day trial for the digital studio at no cost to you, which is really cool because you get a full 2 weeks to really try out every class. And then it's $45 for the month online. So in person, one class is $38. This is actually one of the instances where I would say it's worth it because it's different than any class I've ever taken, which we'll get into. But they do have a really great 2-for-1 special. So if you're new and you do the intro offer, you can get 2 classes for the price of 1. And one thing I will note is they do a great job at making it accessible for everyone. So the first Friday of every month, they have something called a community class where it's completely free. So honestly, I might just like every month, the first Friday of the month, that's when I get my AARMY workout in. And they're always doing promotions. So if you are someone who is a member and consistently goes, this month they're having a bring a guest for free to any class all month long, which is great. This month they're also doing a promotion for students in the area. So if you're an NYU student, there's a promo for you right now. So they're constantly, if you just like sign up for their emails or their Instagram, they're constantly doing some really great promotions. Okay, so before we get into the know before you go, let's go over like my thoughts about the workout. So the biggest takeaway I had from the moment I walked in the door and was shocked by was it's very community driven. Like I don't understand how he actually cultivated such a community there. And I actually asked him about it. So let's pop Akin back in here.
Community is huge. It's your team. And our name is that too. We're the AARMY. We're family. We're each other's support. We push each other to be better. We hold each other to a higher standard. Community is everything. And we kind of do it, our practices are basically like team sports, practicing to compete together. So that's kind of where my mindset goes with it. It's kind of ingrained in me since childhood. I went to a sports academy and everybody at the academy wanted to be top players in their sport. So that kind of incubated a great atmosphere that made everybody want to work harder. So they wanted to show up to practice and not go out. They wanted to sleep in so that they could perform better in their competition. So it just kind of breeds a different kind of mindset and mentality that gets people to where they're going a lot quicker. So community is huge for me, and I think that's why it shows, and that's why you can feel it when you come in.
So as Akin mentioned, it is a very community-driven space and it's very intentional. And the biggest thing for me was like, wow, it really is a team effort. Like everyone is cheering each other on. When you finish a circuit or you finish a song in the spin class, everyone's like smiling at each other, cheering each other on, like, wow, we did that. And like everyone's doing that. Like it's so cool how he's cultivated a place where everyone's just cheering each other on. So that part of it was really awesome. Another thing I will mention is just his style of coaching. It's very motivating and very inspiring in a non-competitive or toxic way.
Yeah, Katie. Get it, 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 get it. Let's go. Yes, Amy. Come on, Shabana.
Like, yes, it's a team mentality, but he's also really great at pushing you to be the best version of you and the strongest version of you and to show up for yourself. If he sees you getting tired, obviously he's not like a toxic guy who's like, you have to keep going, but it's more like, do it for your mental strength too. He will push you to want to keep going for you. And all of the trainers have that same philosophy as I mentioned before. They're all in the same family. They all have a really strong sense of what the space and the community is. So they're all gonna have that type of coaching style, which is really different than anything I've ever experienced. I feel like it's either yelly and boot campy and scary, or it's gentle and inspiring and about mental health, but he really makes it about both in a very healthy way and inspiring way. I felt personally like both classes flew by because of one, his coaching style, but also like everything is very on the beat, very music driven, similar to Soul Cycle, but still that same way in the strength training class. So you're so focused on the task at hand and doing it on the beat and having fun and just pushing yourself that it really does fly by. But it is the hardest boot camp class and cycling class I have ever taken. For the strength training class, it's more than just like a bicep curl. Like we were doing hamstring curls and just some really unique things that I've never done before, maybe with my personal trainer, but not in a workout class. But I love that he made sure to really walk around the room, because if you were doing something poorly or gonna hurt yourself, he would probably, you know, assist you. So as intimidating as it was, just with how challenging it is, with the support of everyone around you and his inspirational style, it is such a great class, but it is so challenging. Like I consider myself to be like a fit person in these workout classes. Like I'm a regular person. I don't look like crazy strong or anything like that, but I'm able to keep up just from the nature of like practicing at these workout classes. But I found it really challenging. Like there were times where I was like, I gotta take a minute because I don't really think I even have the form, or I just like, I think have way too heavy of weights. So it was for sure the hardest class I have ever taken, but it made me want to come back because it wasn't toxic and it was very inspiring, and I just loved that. It was about getting stronger for you. And he definitely made a point to be like, we're working towards something together. Like we are all working towards being able to lift heavier weights or being able to do this better. So like it's okay to be starting where you are, but it was really fucking hard. And same with the spin class. Like it was crazy. Like I could never actually do all of that full out, like out of the saddle the entire time, but it was okay because I wasn't in the front row, so it was fine. So with that being said, let's get into all the things you have to know before you go. So on that community note, and what I was kind of mentioning before, I do think it's important to know that like everyone's gonna be smiling at you and looking for that same encouragement back and high fives, and like you can tell when someone's new, because for me, I didn't really expect any of that, so I was like very confused. I was like, wait, COVID? Like are we high-fiving? Like why are you smiling at me? Do you think you know me? Like I know that's crazy to say, but in New York City, people are not that friendly. So it was just like a little off-putting at first that everyone was so welcoming and excited to like cheer each other on. Like mid-class, people were like making eye contact with me, like mid-spin class, like, woo, yeah, this is great. And I'm like, should I be doing this back? So just know before you go, like this is very team mentality, community driven. So like just be prepared to fully embrace the culture. If you are looking for a fitness community to be a part of in New York City, this is for you. It is full on, you are welcomed in, and like everyone's very approachable from the day you walk in. It's still intimidating because you could tell everyone goes there like every single day, but they're all very welcoming and nice. So if you're like new to your fitness journey, or just getting back on the saddle, or just like want to up level your fitness journey and really like be intentional about it and be a part of a community that will motivate you, definitely this is the place for you. If you're completely new to fitness in general, honestly, I wouldn't say this is the place for you. I hate to say that, but like it's gonna be a little scary. You might hurt yourself because everyone's like lifting really heavy weights, and I don't want you like following anyone else. However, if you want this type of motivation, you absolutely can come early on your fitness journey, as long as you're like smart about it. Come early, talk to the instructor, talk to the coach, tell them you're completely new to fitness so that you get a little more support there, and just don't lift as heavy weights as anyone else. But it's definitely like you're all practicing. It's a fitness journey you're all on together. So if you're looking for that, this is a great place for you. I never recommend going to any workout class every day or any high intensity workout every day, because it then becomes ineffective or just bad on your body. So I wouldn't do it every single day. I did just want to mention that as well, but people do go there like every single day. Like you can tell it's all the same people frequently. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, next thing to know before you go, it's a lot of working out on the beat. So just know that it's okay if you're not gonna, like, don't try to get every single rep on the beat. I don't want you pulling a muscle if you're new to this. So just, I would say, go to the back row. so that you can take breaks and not feel that pressure to like hit every single hip thruster or whatever it is on the beat because you're in the back row, like less pressure. Or also just getting lighter weights so that you can keep up with the tempo. They believe every single person is an athlete, and it's really inspiring and really motivating to just come as you are and get stronger together, and I love that. But that being said, I would definitely go in the back row just because you can get caught up in it, and I don't want anyone hurting themselves. And also come a bit early and just let them know where you are on your fitness journey if you are not well versed in group fitness or just like in athletic strength training in general. They're really supportive there, so just let them know on the earlier side. And then to finish out the know before you go portion of this is a word from Akin on if you are intimidated to show up to your first class.
So if you're intimidated to come practice with us, just know it's all levels. Philosophy is that if you have someone that can do extraordinary things in your team, that kind of becomes a mirror possibility for you. So I don't know about you, but playing sports, when I played someone that was better than me, I always got better. So it's that mindset. You come in, you do your best. You're not meant to have it all at once. You're meant to learn it here. This is practice. And every day you come back, you get better and better and better. Stay in your own lane, but you have a whole team of possibilities, a whole team that becomes your mirror of possibilities and that supports you on your journey. So don't be scared. Just come in, try it, do your best, move at your own pace, and then bit by bit, you start to progress. That's it.
All right, give this video a thumbs up, please, if it was helpful for you. Don't forget to click subscribe so you can be a part of this amazing community. Comment down below where you guys want me to try out next, and I will see you all next week.